we're back, but will it go well? Okay, so we've got the Fimi Mini back out. There we go, just put it up to the camera so you can see what it is. Basically, battery's fully charged. A quick update on it, I tried to update the firmware like from, completely manually. It's not possible to do because basically the firmware files haven't been released yet. So I decided to remove the Fimi app and reinstall from the version on the Play Store. I also did every calibration possible under the sun in here, including the compass calibration, which went right on one occasion but has failed every time since. So I'm not predicting that will, that may be a firmware issue, so we need to basically wait for that. Right, I'm going to try and get this controller on. Hopefully it will come on. The drone's on, ready to go. Just want to get it connected up to the controller. Right, that should turn it on. Hopefully we've got a good amount of battery. Hopefully we can basically put right all the things that went wrong last time. So let's just wait for this drone to connect up. Don't know if it is connecting up. I've found that you've got to kind of disconnect it and reconnect it a couple of times. But we'll see how we get on. Right, yeah, that's as soon as you do that, it kind of seems to kick into life, which is brilliant. So, okay, so what have we got going on now? Basically, based on some people's settings, I've basically gone in and configured. So I've got precise landing on, I've turned off all the speed limits and everything. Compass calibration I tried doing. I don't know whether we should try doing that again. It's all kind of in a good position at the moment, so I don't want to mess around with that. Okay, so now what you want to do is turn on the enable backward flight in smart tracking. Okay, let's do that, see what happens. Right, so basically if we go back into the camera settings on here, let's put it into high again. We've got H.265, got everything else on auto. Let's see if we get some better results. So I'm going to turn on the recording and I am going to do a takeoff. Right, here we go. Now that's interesting. I know it's going up to the same height, but it's going up slowly. So let it go up. I'm under a tree. We're kind of trying to cool the camera down a bit more this time, so hopefully we won't have any camera issues. I did think about using the GoPro, but I quite like the quality of this camera, so I don't really want to do it. So basically just a quick hover around on the camera. It's not staying in place, a bit like it was yesterday. Again, hopefully things like that can be fixed with firmware. Got trains behind us, so that's probably what the noise is a bit. Right, okay, let's just go up a second. Let's get above the tree line, looking out over the park. So it's going up. Oh, I did gimbal calibration, I did everything, so hopefully we'll see a better. Yeah, see, I'm really liking the picture quality on this drone actually, like apart from the lens fog that we saw last time. Let's hope that doesn't occur again now. So let's have a look over. We've got 93% battery, so we're all pretty good. Drone's up over there, that's all good. So let's have a look over the park a second. Just try and get a bit of a sort of spin around because I want to sort of have a good look and see what the camera looks like at different angles. I don't know if we're in HDR or not, but I'll stop the camera a second in a minute and I'll just turn that on again and we'll see what we get. But I want to give it like kind of a little pan around. It's not really windy today, so if we're seeing tilts, I don't know if that's a tilted horizon or not. And we're turning round, so my gut feeling always has been with the Fimi that if it looks like a tilted horizon, it is a tilted horizon. Let's try dropping the camera down a bit, see if we can just sort of do some angles, and because sometimes a different angle of the camera makes the picture quality look a bit different. So you know, depending on whether the sun's kind of stuck on it or not. So it's up there, just having a look around. Right, brilliant. So let me just stop the recording for a second, and I want to go in. I just want to check. No, I'm not in HDR. So now I'm in HDR video. I'm going to start again, and I'm just going to keep going round, see if we get anything better, see if the picture quality is noticeably different. The only thing is I edit my videos on DaVinci, so I don't know if that will affect, because I don't know if I'm able to export HDR, but we'll give it a go. Right, so let's just pan around. It's a lovely sunny day, so we should have the best picture quality possible, I would imagine, for this sort of day. Should be pretty good. Try to have a look around. We're getting a little bit break up in the FPV on the app. That's probably because I've got a kind of tree in front of me, and that might be blocking out the signal to the drone a bit. So I don't think that's a general problem. I took it out a bit earlier just for like a 5-minute flight, and it seemed to go quite a reasonable distance without any, you know, issues in the FPV. So I don't think that's a big issue. Right, so okay, so we're doing that, we're out of that, and then as in the comments somebody said go into the map area, we should be able to get to the intelligent flight features that we wanted to get to. So what I'm going to do, I think first of all, is to bring the drone back to us actually, because we need to basically be near us to be able to actually do it. So we want to do some smart tracking, just a quick go over there behind us and just see how we get on. I want to be careful because I am around trees, so and train tracks, so I don't want to be too close to any of those things. So let's just see it come back. In fact, come out of that mode there. But what I don't want to do is turn off the HDR filming. I want to see if we can get in the intelligent flight modes and actually still have it. Right, so it's right above, and precision landing's turned on, so it should be trying to land on that pad anyway. We've got 79% of battery left, so let's just make sure that we can kind of do as much as we can. Yeah, hang on. All I wanted to do was turn the actual drone around. I don't think it likes that. Anyway, I'm going to bring it down manually. Basically, with the Mini 2 now, you can actually control the camera whilst it's in return to home mode. So I don't know if that was not working there on this, but we'll give that another go in a second anyway. So I want to bring it down near to me. We've got a nice quiet day. There's no one really about. I'm going to bring it over sort of towards me, point the camera down at me. We're in a bit of a quite shaded spot here. So right, can I now go into the map, into intelligent flight features, smart track, trace me again, and this time draw a rectangle around me. Don't know if it gets a bit confused with that. Hang on, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to make sure that I get it right over me. Right, okay, so smart track, trace, okay. I'm quite a small sort of, yeah, it's got me. Right, so now I'm going to go off for a walk and see what happens. Right, now I'm walking towards it, which I think is what it likes, but it is flying backwards, so that's really cool. So it is flying backwards, so it's moving around. I'm not seeing the problems I had yesterday with it. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. It's basically turning to watch me. It's moving around. I don't know if I can just speed up a little bit, try and fox it. But yeah, it's basically doing okay. Can I go in behind a tree or something and see if it gets a bit confused? Let's give that a go. Obviously I want to be careful because the tree is there, but I think it's above it. So do that. It seems to be tracking me. It's tracked me through the tree. I'm pretty impressed with that. I ran through the trees and it still managed to track me. So really happy with that. Yep, that's a really good situation, and I think that proves that the trace works fine. So I'm going to come out of that. What have we got? 70% battery. So let's go into intelligent flight. Let's have a look. So we've got in here, it's mostly things like smart track really, isn't it? Right, so let's come back out into here. I think we want to turn off the recording because I want to try some of the features I didn't get to try out yesterday. So I'm going to send it round that way, away from the area where the camera is. And then what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do some of the sort of dronie style. Oh, I always go into that button. Apologies. Basically, what do we want? We want, is it that one? No, it's not that one. No, it is the, you go on the HDR one. Right, okay, and then you do, okay, so I'm guessing this is in one click video. And then you do dronie. And so I'm going to set it to do like 35 meters, drag a frame around myself. If I can, hang on, click OK. Right, frame around myself. Okay, right, okay, so now there's like a green button. And then this is that kind of famous shot where everyone's on a beach and it goes go. And you just wave away and way, see you later, dronie. And off it goes. Right, so that's cool, that works. That's a feature that kind of worked before anyway, so pretty happy with that. You know, so to be honest, this is night and day experience. I mean, I'm not seeing any issues now. I'm not getting compass interference coming up. I'm not getting anything like I got yesterday. So, I mean, just a good shutdown of this drone and putting in the app. Right, so it's done all that. I've done that in 1080p, which is a bit annoying. But that's not a big deal. That's a bit like DJI. It sort of by default is using 1080p rather than 4K, which is a bit of a pain, but you know, they just copied DJI there. I don't know why they've done that. Right, so it's returning. I don't know if it counts this as part of the video. I mean, I went in and changed the video details, so let's see how that comes out. So it is actually finished. I wonder if I should do another one just in case that went wrong. So let's just select me again. It's now in 4K 30. Let's let it go away. Way, see you later. I'm on a lovely holiday and oh no, my drone's fallen into the sea behind. Which I'll never get this footage back and it'll just be grainy screen recorder. But no, we're not at a beach, so we'll be all right. But yeah, no, night and day experience so far. Everything's working. I mean, yesterday just seemed to be cursed. You know, it's like it just seemed to just everything went wrong. So yeah, I don't understand what's gone on there. So right, so it's returning to home automatically. I won't be there to greet it. I'm going back to the camera a second just to make sure that hasn't shut down in heat. No, it's still running. Still running, amazing, right? Do you know, I never had a problem with this camera before. I'm sure I've been out in like full sunshine and it's still no problem. Another train coming along, so we're going to get kind of sounded out. But let's let this thing come back down. We've got 58%, which is roughly where we started last time. So we've had a much better time of it. So right, once that's finished doing what it's doing and it's finished, I'm going to try switching into a different mode. And let's have a look in here. So let's go back into intelligent flight a second. And I want to do spiral, but this time I'm going to get it right. So I'm going to go back to the drone. Okay, so if I just bring it over to me, bring it forward, right, okay. So I want to set the center, or maybe I'll set the center there. Okay, it's set the center there. So the radius, you've got to kind of move, don't want to do that. I want to move back, you've got to move back. That distance is fine. Hang on, have I got to get the camera pointed at me? Presumably I have. Yeah, let's get the camera pointed at me. Right, okay, set the radius. Okay, so maximum distance. Just knock that up a bit more. Counterclockwise, that's fine. I don't know if I want it to return to home, that's cool. Right, so let's see what it does. So it's going to do a spiral now. So it's going round me. That's pretty good. Now I don't know how that's an intelligent flight feature really. Now, I don't know if the height's the best, but with the trees behind us, we'll see as it goes round. I'm ready to stop it if all goes wrong. It's supposed to be gaining height, isn't it? Yeah, I don't like the look of that. I'm going to cancel out of that because that is going near a tree. So, no, we won't be doing that. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Just night and day today, no errors, nothing. So very weird, very, very weird. Very weird situation from what we had yesterday really. So okay, so Let's tap back in there. Right, okay, so what's in one click video? It really is just the normal stuff, isn't it? Like what we had last time, you know, it's not like the DJI sort of Air 2S stuff where it makes like some mad Japanese video about you, which is what we found out in a previous video. Right, so what we want to do is let's have a look. So, okay, so let's do soaring. Why not? Okay, right, so you again select your target. You wonder what this feature actually is achieving over the normal ones. I guess it's more that it keeps you in the frame. So let's see, right, way, and that's just going to do a rocket up, which is what they're calling soaring. Right, okay, that wasn't much fun. I think the main difference is though with this drone and the Mini 2 is that you're getting that tracking, and that's a really cool thing. So, oh, big seagull or bird just went right by the drone. Right, okay, so another thing someone said to do was to put it on lock with a slight, I think it was a slight turn on it. But I found it to track me fine. So let's just bring it back down anyway and see what we get. I didn't bring my sunglasses today, so the sun's quite sort of, although I can see the screen better. I did that in 1080p as well. This is something to watch out for on these drones now. Just be making sure that you've got everything in 4K 30 really. And you can do that by tapping where it says 1080p 30. You can change that to the thing that you want really. But that's just, you know, it's a bit of a shame that the resolution is always 1080p 30 by default. Okay, so someone said, oh yeah, another thing to try actually. Well, we've got quite a lot of power. Let's do waypoints, because this is another feature that you don't get on Mavic Mini or on a DJI Mini 2. Right, okay, so where's my waypoint? So I can set waypoints. Okay, now I'm guessing a bit on this one. Right, so how do I add another waypoint? And I want to add another waypoint if I can. Hang on, no, let's clear all the waypoints. Yeah, okay, waypoint should be more than, right, so I'm getting rid of them all. Okay, so I want to put one there, which I'm going to set the height quite high because we don't want it hitting anything. I'm going to set another one there, which are, oh yeah, they just got to be further apart. So I'm going to set the height quite high on that as well. And then I'm going to, oh yeah, add that, that's added. No, hang on a minute, has it set it to 12 meters? Hang on a minute, let's tap on these. Can you actually edit them? Right, no, I don't want 12 meters. I want something like 60 meters. Okay, so modify, right, that's how you do it. So tap on it, click on the little sort of 3 lines icon, and then do that, modify. Okay, so I prefer the Hubsan way of doing this for some reason, but let's just see. Okay, modify, that's a pigeon, that's not someone nicking the camera. So, right, okay, so now we should be able to tap on the go, waypoints distance, get it to go relatively fast. We'll give it a go in sports mode as well in a minute to see how we get on. Okay, so that should now be doing it. I'm going to click record while we're here, because basically it's not recording, but it should be now. So it's gone to waypoint 1, it's not doing anything, it's going up to the right height I think for the next one, and it will sort of move between waypoints. And you know, I think the most important thing about this is that that's a feature that you don't get on like a Mini 2, you don't even get it on an Air 2 or anything other than like Mavic Pro I think. So really you don't get those sort of features by default, which is a shame with the DJI drones. So you sort of think that maybe if anything comes out of the Fimi, it's going to be, so it's done those waypoints, whether that was useful. I guess if you had a better sort of setup of where you actually wanted it to go, that would be, I probably haven't spaced it out enough. In fact, it turns the camera off, so that's annoying. It's turned the recording off again. So yeah, you know, those sort of things are, they're nice features to have, and you're getting it over the Mini 2, which doesn't have those features. So, you know, the thing is, this thing is competing with the Mini 2, and the Mini 2 is basically what we're going to be testing it against. So, right, let's bring it down so we can test out sports mode. see how fast this thing can go. Now on the Fimi drones, they tend to put it in a hidden sort of menu, don't they? Put it in the menu rather than having a button for it. But let's see how we get on. Hopefully my camera is still recording, although I don't suppose it matters, I'm not stood in front of it. But let's bring this down towards me. Okay, and right, let's see. If we go into the settings, there should be a sport mode. Put in OK. Right, so now it's in sports mode. So I'm going to come out of, I'm going to try and maybe lift it up, turn it round, pull it back a bit. I want to see how fast, this drone does go quite fast, I tell you. Okay, so what we want to do is sort of pick up the camera a bit and just bomb it towards the... Now that is pretty good. Right, I'll turn away from those trees. It's a bit like an FPV drone, isn't it now? Well, the turning's not like not like one. Look at that. Whoa, actually, this is pretty cool. It is going for, I wish I brought the hack camera now so I could have just sort of got it going, show you how fast it was. But yeah, do you know, it's a fast little drone. I mean, probably as fast as the Mini 2, but yeah, you know, pretty good. So yeah. So what's the turning like? I'm guessing it's quite, I don't know, it turns nice and smoothly. I like that. This drone turns, although that doesn't turn that smoothly. I think we're going to run out of battery soon, but I feel so much better about this flight. Although it's, yeah, the warning lights, if you like, amber, is because of the battery. So what I'm going to do, I think, take it up, have another look around. Whoa, hang on, better not. Better not go too fast towards there. But I want to get it right. So let's see. I don't think it's damaging the battery just yet. So let's just get it up and have one more look around before it forces us to land the drone, because I think, you know, it needs to land. So right, it's up there. I can see it turning. I was thinking for a second I couldn't see the screen actually moving, but yeah, I'll just get one more look around. But yeah, you don't get a lot of battery. You've got to make the most of this battery. So hopefully we will see in the future additional batteries becoming available. But yeah, just a nice look over Doncaster there. Battery only enough for ready to return. So okay. Oh no, do you know what? The app crashed at this point yesterday, I think, as well. It crashed when you're about to return to home, which is a worrying thing because, you know, you're trying to get it to return to home. So it is returning to home, but I have to be careful because I have trees over me. So hopefully the precision landing, it will see that pad, and hopefully there's not enough trees around me to cause a big problem. So coming down, ideally I'd have been a bit further away from the train line really, but this was a nice, like, kind of shaded spot where the camera wasn't likely to overheat. So with the GoPro you just don't get as much detail, so when I bring it up to the camera you won't be able to see the drone as well. Right, so let's hope the precision landing works as well as yesterday. But I tell you what, night and day, this drone feels totally different to me. It's like a different drone. You know, after recalibrating some stuff, changing the app to the Play Store version, you know, it just feels totally different. You know, I'm really impressed with it. So I mean, yes, it's toilet bowling a little bit. Whoa, it's gone into the grass. And it doesn't seem to turn off its propellers very quickly. So it kind of veered off the landing pad there. But, you know, we've all seen all the drones do that really, haven't we? There's not many drones that get it bang on all the time. So yeah, really, really impressed with that. One thing to note is it is very white, this drone, as you can see. So it attracts a lot of kind of, like, you get flies and bits, and, you know, when you get green stuff on there, you're going to get a lot of staining. So, I mean, that's probably going to be a bit of a pain in the neck, but it is a nice striking colour. Makes a bit of a difference from the sort of DJI grey, doesn't it? So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, I'm really, really happy. I mean, yes, I haven't had a successful outdoor calibration of the compass, so I haven't managed to do that. But yeah, night and day though. I mean, I kind of had a feeling this, you know, last night I managed to get one compass calibration to work. and after, you know, and I booted it up, and after that I never saw the magnetic interference. I never saw the whole error about compass interference again. And I don't think, looking at the footage on the screen there, that we saw any fogging in the image. So I had my sunglasses on yesterday, it was a bit harder to see. Today I don't, and I don't think we saw any fogging there. Now, it was a different time of day, so perhaps it was, you know, maybe it was just the time of day or something like that. But yeah, that drone to me feels like so much better. It feels more like the kind of thing I would expect from Fimi, because when I bought my Fimi X8 SE 2020, it's pretty bulletproof. I wouldn't say it's as polished as like the DJI drones, but it always felt like it did its job. You know, it wouldn't do everything as perfect as they did, but it, you know, it was still a good buy, because a similar size drone would have cost like double the price. So with this, you know, I think it's a very similar thing again. You know, it's probably half the price of the Mini. So yeah, I think they've done a reasonable job, and hopefully with some firmware updates, you know, I'll be completely happy and believe that it's completely right. But yeah, I don't know, that just felt right to me. I'm very disappointed that we've only got one battery. That was a real shame. I really think they probably just rushed it out, and that was why they didn't have many batteries available, so they're kind of rationing them out, one per order. I have looked again on AliExpress, and they do seem to be suggesting that there are bundles now with more than one battery. I know you can't order at the moment, they've got like a really silly price on it, but maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're planning to bring out multiple versions of the battery. It still looked to me like they'd grade out the Pro battery, so whether that's a mythical battery or not, I'd love to actually see it. Maybe somebody really technical could work out whether they could put some lithium polymer you know, batteries into this battery. Maybe you could graft it with like a battery off like an FPV drone. I don't know, but it would be really cool if that were possible. But I don't know. I mean, but you know, it's just a shame about the battery. I've never moaned about not having more than one battery before. You know, when I've taken out the Mini 2, I've flown it and found that, you know, I've kind of only ever really used one battery unless I'm doing multiple videos. But actually, this battery, it just feels like it's not quite enough. I'd like another one. You know, I mean, I'd like to get it back up again, but I was trying to go through a few features. So but yeah, as time goes on, hopefully we will see more batteries available and easy to get. But yeah, I think that went a lot better. Be interesting to see the footage. How was the HDR versus the normal 4K? Shame that the kind of nice video features have got like, you know, 1080p 30 by default. That's the same with a Mini 2. It's annoying. You have to go into the menu and change it. It looked like it was per mode on this, like you had to change it per mode. Like I did it on dronie, and then I did the you know, the kind of rocket equivalent on this, and it didn't. It seemed to be 1080p 30 again. So that's a little bit of a drawback. That's a bit of a pain in the neck, because you want to you kind of want it in 4K 30 if you can have it in 4K 30, I think, or at least be able to set a default and say I want everything 4K 30. Maybe somebody else has had a good look through the menu and has found an option to do that. Please let me know in the comments if you have. Again, I've kind of mostly been trying to get this drone basically ship shape to actually fly it and you know, get it back out. So again, I haven't been through the menu and properly looked at all the settings. I've really been just looking at calibration options. I did mail Fimi about getting hold of firmware files and whether you could do a manual firmware update, you know, like basically reinstall the normal firmware on it, and you know, did mine fail? I mean, my feeling is the drone wouldn't have flown at all if the firmware was knackered, but you know, who knows? Maybe one piece of the firmware wasn't right, maybe the compass, or you know, something to do with the gimbal, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it seems all right now, and although I couldn't do a compass calibration, you know, maybe we could try that. Maybe we could try the compass calibration now. I mean, I know the battery's getting a bit low, so maybe let's just really quickly do this. But you know, right, so this was the thing. On the screen there was like it just seemed like normally on these drones it's like a few seconds and you're done, but look, this just doesn't want to. It's just putting a horizontal one on there, and it just doesn't, it never completes, and eventually will probably fail. And there's no interference, there shouldn't be any issues. So but I mean, there's no way that the Mini or even the original Fimi or any of the other drones would have done this. You know, it wouldn't have taken this long to do a horizontal calibration. Yeah, and it says failed. So yeah, you know, I don't think that's, you know, I think there's something weird going on with maybe my particular drone. I don't know, but as you can see, but it flew fine. We had no warnings. I'm going to power it off actually, because I want to make sure that don't damage this battery really, because it's the only battery I've got, and who knows, maybe the only battery we ever see. So hopefully not, but I mean, Fimi are pretty good. I think once they get up and running, there will probably be enough supplies. So, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully that was useful to you. Hopefully that is a better experience than watching the previous video. But thanks very much for watching. You're great as always. Really appreciate you watching the videos and liking the videos. So thanks very much for all your comments as well yesterday and today about the previous video. It's very helpful, certainly pointed me in the right direction in a few parts of the menu. So thanks for that, and hopefully we'll get some more flights with this drone, try out some more of the features, but hopefully that put right some of the wrongs of yesterday's video. And yesterday's was kind of rushed because we just ended up with very little battery. It was kind of half the battery available to us because of the camera overheating. That hasn't happened today. The drone hasn't been moaning and saying, you know, my compass is knackered. So that is basically a real bonus. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you again in the next one. Take care.